What's up, guys? Welcome back to Deadstock Barbershop. I am Christopher Manyweather. For all you first timers and new subscribers to my channel, you can expect to be educated, inspired, and motivated. We talk product and clipper reviews, give six-figure barber tips, as well as produce high-quality informative haircut tutorials. If any of these fits you, subscribe so you don't miss out on any of these topics. Okay, guys, so you're going to need a comb, you're going to need a brush, and you're going to need a pick. And you're going to need them repeatedly during this service because my nephew Zolan has the curliest hair. That's the nicest way I can put it. The curliest hair you probably ever gonna see. And so as you can see, I'm picking it out and I'm preparing to cut it down. So what I'm doing right now is I'm debulking this area with a number 2 closed all the way. And I'm going to go all the way around his head and knock the hair down so that I can make sure that it's dark still. I want to create the space where I can transition from a bald fade on up to the desired length on top. So we don't want to take it up too high. We just want to knock it down so it remains dark. So now we're going to go in and do the same thing with our masters halfway open. And we're just going to go down lower. We're not going to go up as high as we were with that number 2. So essentially what we're doing is fading down right now. One thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is that fading up or cutting against the grain is going to remove the most hair versus cutting with the grain is going to blend. So we're just knocking this hair down and blending it together. The lower you go, the more you want to close your clippers. So typically I use a combo cutting system, but in this video I'm only going to use the masters. These masters are closed all the way. They're on the lowest notch, and yes, they are 0 gap. I make sure that they are set so that they do not scrape or cut him. And just to make sure that the guideline is symmetrical, we're just going to go all the way around the head and open our clippers all the way up and set in that first panel. All right, so once we put that first panel in, now we're going to begin to take it out. It was all the way open. Now I got it halfway, and I'll begin to adjust my lever to the quarter mark. Because remember, we put that initial guideline in with them closed, so the quarter mark should take it out. Halfway quarter close is the system, and we're just going to follow that all the way around, and we can come back and do a little more detail work. So it's always good just to put your system in there real quick, and then you can do your detail after that. Switching over to the left side, we're going to do the same thing. All the way open, setting our guideline about 1 inch up. And we're going to fade it out by going halfway, then quarter, then we'll detail it out. Here's a pro tip for you guys. Make sure that you're listening to the clippers as you're cutting and as you're detailing. If you don't hear anything, 9 times out of 10, you are not cutting anything. That's one thing that I do love about the Andis Masters corded version, the original version, because you can hear every single stroke. Anytime you hit a piece of hair, you hear a click, and it's like the most satisfying sound. So make sure that you're listening and looking at the hair as you're cutting. So now we put our purple 1 guard on, and it's halfway open, and we're going to go up about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So we're going to set in that next guideline, keeping in mind that we've already cut the hair down with the grain, so it won't be a whole lot of work to do. So this is my purple 0, and I started off with halfway open, and then I'll just start playing with the levers from halfway, quarter to close. I'm just flicking at that bottom line, blending it in. So now we're going to use our 1 guard to do detail work and finish out this area, just using the corners only, starting with it open, halfway, then close. Any dark spots, light spots that we're trying to attack, just use the corner of your blade. I just took that guard off, and I can go higher up without causing another line. Why? Because I'm using only the corner of the blade. Move to the right side and do the same thing. We got our number 1 back on, halfway open, and we're going to create the next panel. And what I'm doing, I'm just quickly going through my system. I'm going from halfway to quarter to close, and I'm just flicking at that bottom line. Then I'll switch to my number 0 guard and begin to take it out. So here's my 0. I'm just flicking at that bottom line. They are closed all the way, and I'm just using the corners of the blade, and then I'll open it up when I need to. Like right there, I put it on quarter of the way because I'm going up a little higher. Switch it back down, and this is what we call lever play. So now we flip our clippers back over, and we already cut it with the 2 and the 1 with the grain. Now we're using our 0, and we're just smoothing it out, looking for any heavier spots, any darker spots, and kind of hitting at those with the corner of the blade. So next you're gonna see me rotate the chair. I'm still looking at the right side. I'm not looking at any other side of his head, just the right side that I was working on, to see if I can see anything from any other angle. Going back in with the number 1 halfway open, we're gonna set in that guideline, and we're gonna just start to fade it out. It's gonna be quick, just because we've already done it on the other side. Just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna speed it up just a little bit. And as you can see, I'm working that lever with that purple 0, and it's blending in. So what I want to show you guys right here is how I actually work the lever with one hand. So I'll be adjusting it, but you may not see it because I'm doing it with my fingers. I'm not using both hands. So I'll open it and I'll close it with my fingers. So now we're gonna grab our pick again, and we're gonna pick all the hair out around his head, because we're gonna smooth it out, we're gonna shape it up and fade it into the top. That's what I want to show you guys right there. Look how short his hair was, and that comb still could stick in his hair. That's how curly his hair is. So I got my masters closed, they are 0 gap, and we're just gonna go straight up the side of his head, and we're gonna knock off anything that's hanging over. We're going straight up. We're not following the shape of his head, we're going straight off his head. So we'll do the same thing in the front to prepare for the edge up, because as you can see, his hairline on his right, my left, comes down lower than the other side. So we're gonna take some of that weight out so it blends in when I edge it up. Gonna apply a little Gotta Be glue holding spray, and we'll prepare to edge them up. As always, I like to start in the middle, but this time I'm gonna do it a little different because someone asked me what's the way to get better. You can work your way middle right, middle left, but not go all the way over, and you can just bounce it right to left, and then work your way all the way to one side and come back, and you'll have just a little bit to do on that front line. Now I can see where to connect it instead of going all the way across and getting lost. This is a way to give a nice balanced line. So perspective is crazy. Sometimes you can't tell that the edge up is crooked if you're too close up on them. So make sure that you step back and view that edge up from the front so that you can see if your line is balanced or not. And since my boy ain't had a haircut in forever, we're gonna go ahead and deck him all the way out, give him some enhancements and add a little sauce to his swag. We're using a Sean Cuts Hair color card with some enhancement fibers, and we're just putting those in. Once we're done with that, we'll put a little bit more holding spray, seal it on up, edge it up, and he'll be good to go. One thing that you guys will notice is that I like to apply the fibers a little heavily, but I don't leave them like that. I don't want it to look artificial and just all around fake. What I do is I'll grab my compressor and I'll blow it. Anything that stays in will keep, anything that doesn't, we'll take it out, and I'll just do a little blending with air, a little air bending power. So now we'll edge it up, and it just makes it pop, man. It just brings this whole cut together. All you're doing is just retracing your steps, only lining up the fibers. We're not taking this edge up back or anything like that, and you're not pushing hard. Remember, we've already given them a full edge up, so we're just cleaning up the fibers only. So we'll step back off them one more time, hit the C cups. Anything that we see is a little lower, a little higher, whatever we need to do to equal it out, and just verify that this edge up is balanced. Apply a little more Gotta Be glue. Hit them with the diffuser. Make sure that it all sticks in. With this many coats, he's gonna be good for 2 or 3 days. Throw a do-rag on, he'll be all right. Now watch my boy. Check him out. Check him out. That boy know he clean. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna apply just a little bit of Johnny B Mold gel, simply because I want his kinks to look more like curls. Put that in, work it all the way in, and we're gonna sponge it up. Look how long his hair really is. It's really long enough to braid. It's very deceptive. So we're gonna work this sponge in a circular motion. Whatever direction you go, make sure you do that same direction all the way around the head. And as you can see, that boy is fresh. So now I'm gonna hit all the ends with my scissors, clean it on up. So since we're done with this cut, we're gonna bottom out, get him cleaned up behind the ears and everything like that, and he's good to go. As barbers, we don't control what hair textures will sit in our chair, but I'm here to show that with a thorough consultation and proper execution, they can leave out looking like this. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you, every person that is new, all old subscribers, everyone. Thank you guys for the support. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you put them in the comment section below. If you learned anything or found any of this video to be valuable to you, make sure that you like this video, that you share it, as well as subscribe to the channel. To watch this video later or any of my other tutorials, make sure to check out my playlist titled Haircut Tutorials. Thank you and God bless.